I'm the founder of Six Figure Pet Business Academy and the creator of the Prosperous Pet Business Online Conference. I'm so happy to have you all here today. And I'm very happy to have Chess Edwards back. He was here last year. And as those of you who attended the conference last year know, he's a teacher of mindfulness and presence. And he helps his clients enliven and integrate mind, body, and spirit for really powerful and joyful living, which is what so many of us are wanting in our lives. And like last year, Chess is going to be doing a cooking segment in a bit here. And we'll be talking about how living a healthy lifestyle while having a busy pet business can be possible. So welcome, Chess. I'm just really happy to have you here.
Thank you, Kristin. Thank you for inviting me. It's great to be back.
Yeah. So what healthy actions do you take in your life to make your life more joyful and powerful?
Yeah, I love what you said, that especially building a pet business and any new enterprise or any enterprise that we pour our love into, it takes so much of us to show up and do that. And Cahill Gibran has a wonderful quote that says, "Our work is our love made visible." Our work is our love made visible. So I want to make sure that I and anyone I work with, I think it's important that we all do whatever we can to build our foundation of strength and wholeness, so we have something to build our lives upon. So what I do is, the main things are I hydrate, I get good sleep, I exercise. Yeah, exactly. Got my water bottle right here. Same one we used last time, right?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I meditate, and primarily I learn constantly learning how to love myself.
How to what?
Love myself.
Oh, and how do you do that?
The main way I love myself is by, first of all, those other things, building the foundations of treating myself beautifully, giving myself enough water, enough rest, enough healthy, vibrant, vital food, good exercise. That's a great way to love ourselves. And then the other way is when I'm building a business, working on projects that I'm working on, and I don't get it right, or I screw up, or I fall off the wagon and I have a bad week and I eat badly or something, that I don't beat myself up, and I've just learned to laugh and smile and be curious and go, wow, look at how I just totally didn't show up yesterday, and how I was really, so I can look at it from a witnessing place of smiling at it. So that helps a lot.
That's great. It's funny because I interviewed Alicia last year, Alicia Datner. She's an improv comedian, and I've taken some improv classes with her, and she's just so great because in the improv class, when you screw up, which happens all the time in an improv class because you don't know what the heck you're doing.
It's like life.
Yeah, it's like life. It's such a reflection of life. And one thing that you do that you're really supposed to do is you go, I screwed up. And you kind of raise your hands in the air of surrender, like, I screwed up. And it's so great because how often we think we have to be perfect, whether we're running a business, living our lives, and to be able to go, I screwed up, it's just so fantastic and forgiving of ourselves,
I love that. I love that. It is. It's just the laugh of like, God, right, here I am I'm being human. It turns out I'm human.
Yeah, that's right. And so a lot of business owners just get so busy in the day-to-day running of their business. And I know, you're a business owner as well. And what do you do to really slow down in this busy kind of fast-paced life? How do you do that?
The main thing is we have to choose to. We have to choose to. We have to make that a commitment and a priority. The beautiful quote around dancing, Balanchine, the choreographer, says, rest is a phase of movement. Rest is a phase of movement. So we have to choose to rest and look at our lives and be really clear on the why. Why are we needing to rest? That we recognize that we can feel into ourselves, our body, our wholeness, primarily from a state of rest. So then the choices become, how am I going to structure my day? if I need to get up at 5 a.m., if I need to get up earlier so that I can get a good 20 minutes of meditation in the morning, then that's what I have to do. Because I've recognized, Kristin, that every time I step away from my practices of self-care, not sometimes, not every once, but every single time I do that, I find that I am not as clear, I'm not as purposeful, I'm not as vital, and I'm not aligned in my business.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gotten to the point now where there's just no choice. So I choose how I'm going to spend my time of stillness and self-care. And I choose the meals that I eat.
Mm-hmm.
I choose, how can I blend my yoga practice with my exercise? Because I don't have time to do a full workout program and have a full yoga practice.
Mm-hmm.
So I choose to blend those types of things. So it's really around choosing our health.
Mm-hmm. And, speaking of that, the choosing, a lot of people, especially people who are running a business and those who just have a lot going on, they tend to let, and I know I've done this too, let healthy cooking, meal preparation be kind of the first thing to go. It's like, oh, I'll just order something to go. And I mean, there are healthy to-go options, of course, but how can people really make healthy cooking a priority?
I think one of the things that helps a lot is to recognize that when we're eating more healthfully and when we're preparing the meal ourselves, that it enlivens us in a certain way that actually saves time in other areas of our lives. We may have more energy, vitality, focus, and dedication to stepping into a project that's a little bit scary or daunting. Mm-hmm. So it actually ends up saving us time in our lives to make sure that we are taking care of the vehicle and make sure it's running as tip-top as possible. So that's one thing, just that shift in perspective. The other thing is like salads and such. Oftentimes on a Sunday, I'll go ahead and I'll chop a bunch of carrots and put them in a Tupperware, a bunch of tomatoes, put them in a Tupperware, a bunch of celery, put them in a Tupperware. Then when I've got to make a salad for lunch midweek, how easy is it to take, now we can buy bags of beautiful fresh baby greens lettuce. I can take some lettuce, put it on a plate, open my Tupperwares, put on the salad mixings, and maybe open a can of wild caught tuna or salmon. I eat fish, so I'll put that on there, or any type of a more protein-based vegetable. And I got a salad, and it takes me 5 minutes because I did a little prep at the beginning of the week.
That's great. That's great. And so, speaking of prep, you're going to be presenting and demonstrating a healthy meal item today. And what is that meal item?
It is a marinated Portobello mushroom salad. I love this salad because it gives, sometimes, I can fall into the trap of looking at a salad and going, really? like that's gonna fill me up? I don't think so. I've still got a mentality of a 20-year-old guy who had a much faster metabolism. So if I can make a salad that has a meaty option to it, like a nice meaty Portobello mushroom, and we'll talk about that as I'm preparing it, that helps me feel like I'm eating a good, robust meal, and it's still just a salad.
And I just want to point out, behind you, over your shoulder, is a mushroom.
Apparently, I like mushrooms. That was a picture I took up in Alaska, hiking up in Denali, and I was doing a day of mindful walking, just a day of walking very slowly through the wilderness. And when I did, suddenly I noticed there's all sorts of beautiful things that I might have walked right past if I wasn't being more mindful.
It's incredible. It looks very space age, actually. I'm looking at it. It's like a flying saucer.
They may be flying saucers. You don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I will see you in the kitchen, and then I'll see you to talk about it in just a minute.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I love this salad, so I'll see you in just a minute.
Okay.
Hi, this is Chess Edwards, and I'm going to share with you another beautiful salad this afternoon. Sometimes when I'm not eating meat and I want to add a little meatiness to my salads, one of the fantastic substitutes is a Portobello mushroom. The Portobello mushroom, done properly, can really add some beautiful, beautiful meatiness to your salads, and they're so gorgeous anyway. So we're going to work with the Portobello mushroom today and make a fantastic salad. The base of this salad is quinoa. So we need to get our quinoa started. And quinoa is a grain. And it's a grain from Bolivia. It's got a lot of protein in it. It's really a whole food in and of itself. One of my friends calls it the world's cutest grain, because when it's cooked, it's got this beautiful little spiral in it that's just cute as can be. So this is the quinoa itself, and very small little tiny pellets there. And the way you make quinoa is, it's very simple. It's very much like brown rice. It's 1 part quinoa to 2 parts water. So a cup of quinoa and 2 cups of water in a pot. Bring that to a boil, and then bring it down to a simmer after it's boiled, covered, and let that simmer for about 15 minutes or until all the water's gone, and that's how you make your quinoa. So I've already got mine cooked. We'll bring that in just a little bit. Once you get your quinoa started, then you want to make your marinade, because we're going to marinate our portobello mushroom. So the way we make our marinade is, we're going to start off with garlic. And garlic is 1 clove of garlic. Now remember, that is not a clove. That is a clove of garlic. The first time I ever cooked with garlic and I read a recipe and it said put in a clove of garlic, I thought that was a clove. That didn't turn out so well. So now we're going to use a single clove of garlic. One of the ways you can get the hull off of your garlic is go ahead and take the flat edge of your knife, or the flat side of your knife, and just bang it on top of your garlic, and it just peels that skin right off and ends you up with a beautiful, just the meat of the garlic. It's a small clove, so I'm going to put in another small clove to make a whole clove. So we got our clove of garlic, and you want to have a sharp knife. Really important whenever you're cooking, have a really sharp, good chef's knife. Some people might think that a sharp knife is more dangerous, and the truth is a dull knife is much more dangerous than a sharp knife. So what you want is a finely minced clove of garlic. So there we go, we got that. And that's going to go into, I'm going to mix this in a jar today, in a little jar. Garlic. Now, the next step is ginger. This is ginger from the store, fresh ginger, but notice it's got the brown skin on it. We don't want that. So I've peeled this one, and it gives the nice white skin underneath, or a nice white meat of the ginger underneath. And we're going to mince enough of that to be 1 teaspoon of minced, whatever it is I'm cooking. Ginger, minced ginger. So mince that up really nicely, and you really do want to get it nicely minced. Ginger is incredibly potent, so if you leave a large chunk of it in your marinade, and by the way, our marinade is also going to be the dressing for the salad. So you want to make sure it's nicely minced, because you don't want anyone getting a big chunk of ginger or garlic in their salad. They're both too strong. So nicely minced. That's nicely minced there. And we're going to put in a teaspoon. A full teaspoon of minced ginger. Okay, that goes into our dressing. Okay, next we're going to use 2 different types of vinegar. We're going to use a balsamic vinegar for this, and the recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of vinegar, but we're only going to do 2 tablespoons of the balsamic vinegar. The balsamic vinegar is the dark vinegar. And then we're going to do 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar. 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar. 3 tablespoons of balsamic I find is too strong for this recipe. All right. A teaspoon of soy sauce. I use liquid aminos, Bragg's liquid aminos. It's a soy sauce substitute. It's got a lot of good, powerful, and strong and healthy liquid aminos in it, hence the name liquid aminos. And we're going to do 1 teaspoon of that. All right, let's see. Now, it calls for a teaspoon of honey. Now, what I have found is that if I take a teaspoon, pour a teaspoon of honey, and I can't get the darn honey out of here into the dressing, it's kind of a little bit more difficult. So what I do is I just eyeball it. I take a look at my teaspoon, it's about the size of a teaspoon, and I put about that much honey in my dressing. It doesn't have to be exact, so good enough. Let's see. Now, we're going to go with sesame oil. And sesame oil is really strong, but it's the base of this marinade. It's really what gives the marinade its main flavor. But sesame oil is strong. So, this is toasted sesame oil. And toasted sesame oil, you're going to want 2.5 tablespoons. You might want to just do 2. I upped it to 2.5 because I like that flavor a lot. I'm going to do 2 1/4 today. That feels about right to me today. If you need more on your dressing, you can always add it in. So that's our toasted sesame oil. Now, lemon. I squeezed a lemon earlier, and we're going to do a full tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. Here we go. And now, sesame seeds, toasted sesame seeds. I couldn't find toasted or roasted sesame seeds at the store, so I just bought regular sesame seeds and just roasted them up in the pan. It only took me about 5 minutes. So we got those going here. And we're going to put in a full tablespoon of the roasted sesame seeds. Okay, that is it. All right, so now the nice thing about doing it in a jar like this is to mix it, to really get it to mix well. You can just go ahead and shake the heck out of it, and it really gets those flavors going. This is the type of dressing that if you make it and leave it for about an hour or so before you actually use it, it's even better because that ginger and that garlic and the sesame seeds, all of those flavors are seeping into the dressing. So you want to sometimes let it sit for a little bit, but a good shake like this, that'll also do the job. Now, that marinade is ready. It's ready to go. Next step is our portobello mushroom. So we're going to take our portobello mushroom, and the stem here, I like to leave that stem on there, but I like to take just a little bit off of the top. So I go into the barber, just a little off the top, all right? Now what we've got here is we've got these beautiful folds in here, and we're going to take that marinade and we're going to pour it down right on top of there so it settles down into all those folds, all those nooks and crannies, and really gives a beautiful taste to the mushroom. So we're going to get that set in a dish, some sort of a dish that you can bake in. I'm going to put a little bit of water in the base of my dish. The mushroom goes on top of the water. Probably a little bit more water in there, just a little bit. Now my marinade is ready to go. And I spoon that into, no, I don't yet. Hold on. One other thing I got to do. Butter. I like to put a little bit of butter in my mushroom before I put in the marinade. What that does is it just adds a nice, buttery flavor to the mushroom. You don't have to, but I like to. So this is what I've done. I've gone ahead, you see I already got some of the marinade in there, but I went ahead and just put in a little bit of butter in there, and that's going to melt into the mushroom as we bake it. So that's the butter. Back to our marinade. Now you don't want to use all the marinade on your mushroom because some of it is going to go on the salad itself. So you kind of fill that cup shape of the mushroom. There we go. That's it right there. Got the butter, it's got the marinade. That is now going to go into the oven. I use a toaster oven. And we're going to set that for bake 375 for 20 minutes. All right, so that's going. Now I made one earlier. So this is the one I made earlier. And this is it right there, fresh out of the oven. Toasted sesame seeds. So what I did was I baked it for 20 minutes and then I broiled it. So I got the top nice and brown. I broiled it for about another 7 to 10 minutes after I baked it for 20 minutes at 375. All right, now we're ready to plate this. So here is our quinoa right here. Beautiful, fluffy quinoa. And again, it's the cutest grain on the planet. It's got all these little curly cues inside of the grain. It's precious. All right, so our spoon. We're going to do a nice bed of quinoa in the middle of the plate. We're then going to take some of the sauce. I'm going to get my mushroom out of here. We're going to take some of, this is the water. This is the water that was at the bottom of my mushroom, and some of the marinade seeped into the water. So that's a beautiful thing to use to spoon over the base of quinoa. So I'm going to spoon that over some of it over the base of the quinoa. Now take my mushroom, set it right over the top of the quinoa. Quinoa is fun to cook with just because it's so darn fun to say quinoa. So there we go. We got the mushroom on top of the quinoa right there. Now, what we can do is around that, we can put baby lettuce. Now, I buy my lettuce bagged. I buy my lettuce bagged because I'm busy. I got a lot of things going on, and it's easier for me just to buy bagged lettuce. So, Trader Joe's, a lot of the different stores, they have organic. Make sure you get organic lettuce, baby greens, things of that nature. So we're going to go with organic baby lettuce. I'm going to surround my mushroom with a little bit of the lettuce. And then from my garden today, I'm fortunate enough to have a garden, I picked a bunch of arugula. So this is the arugula. They also call it rocket. If you're from England, Australia, Fiji, places, Samoa, places like that, they call this rocket. So that's what you might be more familiar with calling it. Put a little bit of the arugula around the portobello mushroom. Now, only a couple of vegetables really go on here. I've tried this with a variety of things. Avocado doesn't go so good with it. What I have found is that big, chunky, again, we're going for a meaty salad idea. So a couple of meaty type vegetables such as carrots. And what I'm going to do with my sharp knife is chop some of my carrots into lengths, like that. So we get a nice good size to the carrot, a nice good chunky bite. And that one's a little bit thick. That one gets chopped down. Carrots get set around. Cucumber as well, a nice fleshy type of vegetable. I like to leave the skin on my cucumber. I like to get as many nutrients and vitamins and goodies out of the food that I eat, so I tend to leave the skin on a lot of the vegetables that I eat. And the same with the cucumber. You want to slice it down and then chop those slices into some good size chunks. So you end up, again, with some good meaty size chunks of cucumber. Look at that beautiful cucumber. I can't help it. Good. All right. So that gets placed around the salad. And if any of your cucumbers or carrots are too big, you can go ahead and chop those down. You can really play with this salad. So here's another thing I love to put on here. We're not going to do it today, but one of my favorite things to put on here is beets. But a lot of people don't like beets. I hated them as a kid. I love them now. Beets are really good on this salad as well. Again, meaty, right? A good full, robust, meaty type flavor. So that's it. I'm going to take now our marinade, reshake it. That goes over the outside on the actual salad part. Now, if you're into it, if it works for you, let me show you this before I put it on. I'm going to put some feta cheese on here as well, but that's the salad right there. Got a base of quinoa, our beautiful meaty portobello mushroom marinated, and then the arugula, the baby greens, the carrots, and the cucumbers. And tomatoes can go on here as well. Tomatoes, again, meaty, right? Meaty type vegetables can go on here as well. In fact, let's go ahead and just take a tomato. What I love about these salads is salads are so quick and easy to make. Chopping vegetables really doesn't take hardly any time at all. That moments ago was a full tomato. It is now ready to go onto my salad. So I got a good, chunky, healthy, hearty, meaty salad going right here. Here it is with the tomatoes. A gorgeous salad. Yeah? All right. Now, feta cheese or goat cheese. This is crumbled goat cheese. Crumbled goat cheese is fantastic on this salad. Some people, however, want to go totally dairy-free, so that wouldn't work for them. But it also looks really nice just to put a little bit of that crumble. And you get to do this. That's one of my favorite parts. So there's a salad. Nobody's not going to love you for making them this salad. So this is the marinated portobello mushroom salad. Meaty, chunky, hearty, and it's going to really fill you up, and it's so darn good for you. It's going to fuel you to get done what you need to get done. And as I always say, you make food that you love so that you can love yourself from the inside out. Feed yourself well, love yourself wholly, and it'll make it much more possible for you to get all the things done that you need to get done in life. And you love yourself, love life, love each other, and thank you very much. Enjoy.
All right, Chess, thank you so much for that wonderful demonstration of the portobello salad. I am just so excited to make that salad. I'm going to get the ingredients today.
And I've got lunch now ready for after the interview.
Yeah. And I just, I love how your friend said she was referring to quinoa as the world's cutest grain.
It is so cute.
It is cute. Oh yeah, it just looks incredible, and I just love how meaty it is. That's the thing about salads, like you were saying earlier, they can be kind of wimpy, and so to have a portobello mushroom that has a consistency of meat can be really satisfying, Yeah.
And I couldn't find them, but sunflower sprouts, of all the sprouts, they're the most robust and heavy, and they're so sweet.
They are.
So those in that salad work well as well.
Oh, they're great. Yeah, and I loved how I had forgotten about the whole thing with the knife and the garlic and how that's a good way to crush it.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated you bringing in that little trick.
Every time I do it, even when I'm cooking alone, every time I crush the garlic like that, there's a weird sense of pride of like, I know how to crush garlic.
I get it.
Little things, right?
It's like a secret trick, secret kitchen trick. And I use Bragg's amino acids a lot, and I've also started using coconut aminos. I don't know if you're familiar with those.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, they're really, really healthy.
Okay.
Anyway, you might want to check those out.
Coconut's so good for the brain.
It is.
For function. Yeah, it feeds the brain in a lot of really, really good ways. So it makes our mental acuity a lot more precise.
Yeah, and then the sesame oil too. There's just something about that, having the sesame oil. It's such a unique taste.
It is, and people can play with that. I mean, so if they can play with it, if it's too much or not enough, because it does have such a strong, unique taste all on its own.
Yeah, and it's funny too. I was thinking about how when we were talking earlier about, the I screwed up thing and how you forgot the olive oil.
Yeah.
But you had that little reminder flashing across. It's just great.
Yeah. Afterwards, I looked back and I just laughed at it. I went, oh, yeah, look at that. I totally forgot the olive oil.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, great. So we'll work with that.
Yeah, that's great. Okay,
Yeah.
good. And then, so how can conference attendees find out more about you and what you're up to in your work? Chess?
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. The two primary ways, I have two websites. One of them is chessedwards.com. The nice thing about having a unique name like Chess is nobody else had chessedwards.com. And the other is through a podcast that I have called Beyond the Noise. So they can go beyondthenoisepodcast.com. And there's all sorts of really cool interviews with beautiful people who are, paying attention to how to live life more consciously.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jess. I really appreciate your time and your energy and just your willingness to help us eat more healthfully. Thank you.
Yeah, to build our foundations of health. And thank you, Kristin. The work you're doing is absolutely fantastic. So I appreciate the opportunity that you give to me and that you give to everybody whose lives you touch. You're doing really good work.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Kristin.
Day. Take care.
All right. I'm going to go eat a salad.
Okay. Bye.